What's going on, Muscle Monsters? Alain Gonzalez here with none other than YouTube legend Lee Hayward. And in today's video, we're going to talk about building one of the hardest muscle groups to build, at least in my experience, and that is or are the calves. So without further ado, Lee is going to give us 3 of his top tips for building massive calves.
There we go.
So let's jump right in.
The calves are a stubborn bitch of a body part to work on sometimes, and it's one of those body parts. It seems like a lot of people, you either got them or you don't. But regardless of where you are in terms of calf genetics, there are ways to improve what you have. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see guys making is when they're doing calf raises, they use way too much weight and these short little choppy mid-range reps. I mean, you're probably guilty of this yourself if you're doing calf raises like this, but go into the gym and you see guys like load up the standing calf raise with the full stack, get under there, probably like knees half bent, so it's like a calf raise squat, and these little bouncy reps, like no range of motion, just these little mid-range reps with way too much weight. You'd be better off cut the weight in half or even 25% and just focus on full range of motion. So let your heels sink all the way down so you get a full stretch in the bottom, and then come all the way up on your tippy toes, squeeze for a full peak contraction at the top.
As far as tempo, is there a specific amount of time we should focus on that stretch? Maybe on coming down, maybe on the eccentric, or you kind of just, playing it?
It's a good question. I don't count tempo personally. I kind of go by feel, but you want to hold that stretch for like 2 seconds in your head. Now, I mean, go for that. Like just 1, 2, and then alternate it, come back up. As far as the actual mid-range, it really doesn't matter because we're not focusing so much on the mid-range. We're focusing on holding the fully stretched, holding the fully peak contraction, and you're just alternating that back and forth. And shoot for 2 seconds in each phase. So 2 seconds fully peak contraction, 2 seconds of fully stretched. And do that for all your calf work. So your seated calf raises, which is primarily going to work the soleus, which is like that muscle underneath the calf. You can only activate it when your knee is bent. So you got to do a seated calf raise, and you also got to do a standing calf raise with your legs locked out. That's going to work, more of the gastrocnemius muscles, and you need both, the fully bent knee and the fully locked out knee, to really hit all aspects of the calves. Now, a bonus tip on top of that is once you do your calf work, do some high repetition body weight calf raises. So for this, I mean, literally no weight whatsoever, just bang out as many reps as you can, just pump the shit out of those calves, just pump it up. I mean, you'll get that painful muscle pump there, but it's time under tension, more blood flow, and again, it's going to help force those suckers to grow.
You got to remember, we're on our feet all day, we're walking, we're running, we're using the calves every single day. They can handle much more stimulus than your average muscle group. So it's important that we also train them more frequently, especially if guys like me, who struggle to build their calves. And just to go back to a few of the points that Lee made, when we do the stretch at the bottom, right, the reason we want to focus on holding it there so that we're not using that stretch reflex and we're actually able to utilize the muscle itself rather than just the momentum. Okay, and as far as the body weight finisher at the end, that's going to be great for just more volume, right? We need more volume, and that's how we're going to get them to grow.
And another thing you mentioned there, like we're on our feet all day long, and when you're walking, you're doing a little short mid-range calf raise, like every step you take. So you're not getting a full peak contraction, you're not getting a full stretch. So that's why when you're in the gym, you got to get outside that mid-range, because your calves are so used to working in that mid-range. They need to get in the fully stretched, fully peak contraction if you want to stimulate them.
And then one last thing, like any other muscle group, the focus must be progressive overload, doing slightly more work than you did before. As long as you can continue to progress on your calf raises, they will grow. Whether it's slow or fast, either way, they will grow. So that's pretty much it, guys.
Yeah.
That's all we have for you. If you found this helpful, make sure to click the like button below. Subscribe for more videos. Make sure to check out Lee at Lee Hayward. That's the YouTube channel. I'll put the link below.
Hayward. Yep.
And we'll talk to you guys in the next one.
Peace. Calves.
Now, the calves are a stubborn... What are we laughing at? Oh, sorry, man. Thanks, Line. We'll keep that in there. You got to put on your bloopers from time to time. Awesome.